Hello, welcome to my backyard jungle. I am Christy. I am the founder of CoFit Coaching. Today I'm doing another follower request video, and this was requested by, I hope I'm not screwing up your name, but it's called Tetramina, I think. Really cool name. I don't know why, but just sounds really cool to me. Pardon my air conditioner. Today she wanted to talk about diet advice. So I am not a perfect person. I do not follow my own diet advice all of the time, but when I find myself sliding far away from these guidelines, that's when I notice that I feel sluggish, fatigued. I feel like no amount of sleep helps me, and I often gain weight. Now, sometimes I don't gain weight, but I will still feel all of these things, all these negative kind of side effects of not having a good diet. So I want you to pay attention to not just weight gain, but also the other symptoms that come along with that when it comes to your diet, because your diet is about so much more than just your weight. So I would really encourage you to, number one, try not to focus only on your weight. Now, of course, your body weight is important. Medically, it is very important that you are at a healthy body weight for your body. So that means not too thin, not too overweight, but honestly, you have a pretty good range before you hit where you're gonna endanger your body from being overweight or underweight. There's a pretty good range in there for your height, is usually how it goes by. Because we're all made different. So I don't want you to focus so much on your weight, but on how you feel. And if you're beginning a journey, in order to figure out how you feel, I would suggest that you keep a journal or a notebook of some kind. I have this notebook. It's just something I got from the dollar store. I put like little things that mean something to me on the front. I mean, it's tearing. It's got old pieces of paper in it. It's nothing special, but whenever I find that I'm starting to feel that sluggishness, that fatigue, I get a lot of intestinal pain from different foods. So this is really important for me personally that I write down. I'll just kind of jot down at the end of the day generally what I ate, and this will help me figure out, oh, I drank lemonade and then an hour after that I was really not feeling that great. So maybe it was the lemons, because sometimes I am allergic to lemons. I know that sounds weird, but anyway. So write things down, including what you drink, because not only what you drink often has a lot of calories in it, but also, like with lemonade, maybe you'll find that you're intolerant of a certain kind of food. So again, it's not just about the calories that are in the drink that you need to be aware of, which you do need to be aware of that, but also what it's made of, because maybe you'll find out that when you drink milk in your tea, that makes you feel sluggish for the rest of the day. That's actually pretty common, that dairy products make people feel sluggish. They can make you feel very congested and puffy. So just pay attention to how foods make you feel, especially if you're at the beginning of a journey, if you've had a history of food intolerances, or if you just tend to feel sluggish every single day. There's probably something that's a little bit off. It might not be your diet, it might be something else in your life, but if you feel horrible every single day, you need to make a change. And I'm not saying that to stress you out, but just be a little aware and think about it. So number one, don't just think about food as weight, as how it affects your weight. Think about how it makes you feel, whether or not your weight is high or low, okay? So number two, I'm gonna go into two different diet, when it comes to controlling your weight kind of plans, okay? So the number one way, and this is the way that I generally just keep track of what I eat, is a proportion method. So on an ideal day, I will have a proportion, and it looks like this. I should have drawn this before I started the video, but this is basically what it looks like. In my mind, an ideal plate at like lunch or dinner or whatever, and also at breakfast, people, is gonna look like this. So this is my plate, beautiful oval plate apparently. Half of this plate is gonna be veggies, okay? Or fruit. You can have a mix. Some people are really picky about that. If you have a history of yeast infections, if you are diabetic, then you need to watch your fruits. But for most people, the average person, eating lots of fruit is not going to hurt you, okay? It's not gonna make you fat. Don't believe that junk, okay? Veggies and fruit, all right? Mostly veggies though. You need vegetables. I know vegetables don't taste the greatest. I am not a huge veggie fan. There are some veggies that I really, really enjoy, like broccoli. I love broccoli. Sometimes I get a craving for raw carrots. I know that's weird, but honestly, most vegetables, I would rather have a potato. Who are we kidding here? French fries are delicious, but vegetables are really, really important. So make sure that you have vegetables and fruit on half of your plate, and I literally mean half. And then another quarter of that plate, you can't really see this, can you? Another quarter of that plate's gonna be a protein. Now this could be, if you are vegan, this could be beans, this could be tofu, whatever kind of protein. Don't worry too much about if it also has carbohydrates in it, because if you are someone who is a vegan or a vegetarian, or if you just can't eat meat for whatever reason, these proteins, you're just kind of signed up to have a lot of carbohydrates in your diet. Generally, if you're going to get a full protein, sorry, I can't remember the fancy term, but basically if you're going to get a lot of protein in your diet as a vegan, you're going to also get more carbohydrates than somebody who can eat meat. So don't worry too much about that, okay? But protein here and then carbs here. And then what you want to do is you want to have your healthy fats as seasonings, as toppings, but a lot of times healthy fats are really, really important. But often people focus too much on them to the point where they're like, well, I have to have my healthy fat, and I have to have this, and I have to have that. And it's really easy to overeat healthy fats. I love healthy fats. I think they're really, really, I know from personal experience that they're super important to your diet. But just be careful to not think that. Often I will see graphs and they'll have like another section here for healthy fats. And people think that on top of the oil that they're using, or the nuts that are a seasoning on top of something, or the avocado that they're putting in the burrito, they need to have something else. And most of the time, as long as you're cooking with healthy oils and you're eating like healthy nuts as a snack, as maybe your protein, you're gonna get enough healthy fats in. So you have to be aware, but often there's an over focus right now, I think, with the keto fad that's been around. And I don't think keto is great for some people I know who have health issues, where keto has helped them basically just stay alive. So I'm not saying keto is bad, but I think it's really only needed for people who already have health issues. So that's way off track, but this is the plate. Half veg, quarter protein, quarter carbs. Your fruit can be in here with your veggies. I know it's technically a carbohydrate, but the reason I want you to have half a plate of fruits and vegetables is because you need all of those freaking nutrients. And also, those by volume are low calorie generally. Of course, there are some high calorie fruits, but in general, you're gonna be getting a lot fewer calories by having half of your plate vegetables and fruits. So overall, you're gonna be eating a lot less calories than if you are like most plates. Like if you just go to a restaurant and you just get a plate, it's flip-flopped. The carbs and the veggies are flip-flopped. Most of the time, protein is in a relatively normal amount when you go to a restaurant as far as proportionally, but they generally have a quarter, maybe a quarter of your plate is vegetables, maybe it's 3 sprigs of asparagus, but half of your plate is usually carbohydrates. And so what I would want you to do is to ask for an extra side of vegetables, which often people like sides. You could get French fries, or you could get broccoli or corn or whatever. I would tell you to get the broccoli, because that would be half of your plate, because you could be switching things out. So I didn't explain that very well, but basically what I'm trying to say is, instead of going for half your plate as carbs, go for half your plate as vegetables. That's going to give you a lot more nutrients for a lot fewer calories. So for example, a cup of rice is about 200 calories, cooked rice. A cup of broccoli is about 30 calories. So just do the math. You're getting the same volume in your stomach, but you are not getting near as many calories. So you need carbohydrates. I'm not trying to demonize carbohydrates at all. You need them, but you need vegetables much, much more. So just keep your proportions in mind. So that's the proportion method. I find that that is really good for people who understand calories, maybe come from a background of eating disorders like I have, where it's not healthy for me to count calories because I get too obsessed with the numbers. Just for whatever reason, that is a fault that I have, and I get obsessed with numbers too easily. So it's not good for me to count calories. It's better for me to do proportions. My air conditioner just shut off. But If that is not your struggle, if I have a client right now who she had never counted calories, she didn't even really know what they were, just because in her life it hadn't been important. And if that's kind of where you are, if you look at a plate of food and you have no clue what calories are, and you do not have a history of eating disorders, then I think that it's a good idea to educate yourself about calories. The best way to do that is to get an app. So there's a free app called the Lose It app. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm not affiliated with them, but it is an app that my client is using, and it's been really, really helpful to her. There are lots, like there's MyFitnessPal, there are lots of free apps out there that you can use that can help you figure out how many calories are in different measurements of food. So it's not going to be super, super specific, but it's going to be an education for you so that you will be able to in the future not count calories, but understand that this plate of food is about 600 calories. Whereas before you had no clue, and now you can make educated decisions for yourself about what foods you're going to eat because you know how many calories are in the food. So the point of counting calories is not to have to count them until you're 80 years old. The point of counting calories is to educate yourself for like a month, maybe 2 months, and then from there not have to count after that because you already have the knowledge and you can guess, right? It's just like anything else that you learn in your life if you're learning to do it on a job. You don't want to have to keep the handbook right there next to you. Like if you're learning a language, you don't want to have to keep like the Spanish English dictionary with you for the rest of your life. No, you learn it so then you can use it. It's the same thing with calories. It's just an education, okay? So what I would suggest you do is if you have never counted calories, you number one, get an app, and number two, be very honest with yourself, and maybe for 1 or 2 days, count up how many calories you eat just on an average day, not on a perfect day. Please be honest with yourself about this. Do not just be like, well, I knew that I should eat this, and so you eat that. Just do a normal day. Don't think about it. Do a normal day, count up your calories. Then from there, you're going to subtract calories. So if let's say that you are eating 3,000 calories and you've just been gaining weight for the past 3 months, okay? I would suggest that you cut your calories by 500 so that you'd be eating 2,500 calories a day and do that for 2 weeks. And I will guarantee you that you will stop gaining weight. Oh, I can't guarantee you that, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't guarantee that, but I bet you would stop gaining weight and you might even start losing weight, but we'd have to assess past that. Like I'm talking as if I was your coach, okay? Now let's say that you assess, and let's say that you've been eating 2,000 calories every day, but you haven't been able to lose weight, and you've been trying and trying, but you realize counting your calories, I eat about 2,000 every day. I would suggest that you eat 300 less calories, and that's gonna throw you into the losing weight zone. So let me explain this to you. I've explained this in a different video. I had a much better graph, but basically let's say that this is the amount of calories you eat a day. This is 3,000 calories, this block right here. Let's say that you cut off 500 calories and you find that you're no longer gaining, but you're maintaining, okay? This is a win. This is where people quit in maintenance mode, okay? People will cut their calories by 500 calories, whether it's by exercising and burning 500 extra calories or by not eating 500 extra calories, okay? So that's like a whole meal. Then they don't lose any weight. So let's say they weighed 190 pounds, and after cutting 500 calories every single day for 2 weeks, they lose no weight. They get discouraged, they say, what the heck, I'm not losing weight, I'm just gonna go back to what I'm doing. And they gain more weight because their trajectory, where they were going, was in the weight gain zone. So they had found maintenance. They'd won, they'd found it, but they decided to quit because they weren't losing weight fast like all the magazines tell you to do, which by the way is ridiculous, okay? You're not gonna lose 30 pounds in 30 days. If you do that, you are hurting your body, okay? That's really, really bad. You don't want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, all right? So they found their maintenance calories, which is 2,500, okay? That's actually a pretty common maintenance. That's maintenance for me is like 2,400, okay? Then if they had just cut their calories by 200 more and gone down to 2,300 calories, they would have started losing weight. But they were impatient and they didn't do it. So what I'm telling you is you need to know how many calories you're eating right now. and I want you to cut your 500, okay? Now maybe that knocks you into losing weight. Maybe you only needed to cut out 300 every single day to maintain. And then once you cut it 500, you were already into the weight loss zone. That happens a lot. But what I want you to do is to take from this is to be patient and realize that if you cut your calories and you stop losing weight, if you maintain, that is a freaking win, touchdown. You found your maintenance. That is amazing. You're no longer having to fight the struggle of this other direction. Think about you're going up a hill and you finally found the plateau. The plateau is not a demon thing. Like people are always like, oh, I've plateaued. It's horrible. You've plateaued. You're no longer going downhill. That's great. You found the plateau. You've been drugged down the hill, gaining weight, then you finally found a plateau so that you're no longer being pulled by that. And now you can gain strength, you can set your mind into the right place, you can make a plan, and then you can start climbing up the weight loss hill, okay? But you first normally are gonna have to hit that plateau first. Plateaus are not always bad, okay? So that is my advice for you. Number one, think about your food about more than just, do I lose weight or gain weight? How does it make me feel? Because it will be much better for you to be 10 pounds above whatever your ideal weight is and to feel good, to feel energetic, to be able to do the things that you need to do, to love the people that you need to love, than to be 10 pounds lower and maybe look how you would maybe want to look in your idealized world, but to be tired and sluggish and irritable. So pay attention to your food and how it makes you feel. Number two, and this again goes into two parts, decide if maybe you have a history of disordered eating, and then I would suggest that you do the pie chart proportions plate. If you do not have a history of disordered eating, and you also maybe don't count your calories, or maybe you just don't count them accurately or usually count them, then I want you to every single day for 2 or 3 days, I want you to accurately count how much you normally eat and subtract 500 or 300 calories, okay? That's my diet advice for you. If you have any questions, I would love it if you would hit me up in the comment sections of this video. Tell me, did you see this just from browsing on YouTube? Did you see this on Instagram? Do you have any questions? I am a coach. I would love to coach you through this. I know this is a lot of information I'm just spitting at you. I would love to be your coach. I am not a weight loss coach. I am a fitness coach, because some people don't actually need to lose weight and you just need to be healthy, and we can talk about that. But I just want to make sure that you understand that I've had a couple people ask me to help them lose weight and they didn't need to. And I just don't want to encourage that kind of behavior of like, I want to be super skinny, and that's not what I'm going for here. We're going for health. And I just want to make sure that before you hit me up to be your coach, that you understand that that's my perspective and my heart is health, not skinniness. So I hope everybody is having a fantastic, fabulous day. Remember to stay disciplined, stay strong, and be kind.